Now we're transferring the pattern to fabric. Now for you to learn how we did this, how we drafted this trouser pattern, you have to refer back to our previous video on drafting a trouser pattern, and I'm going to be leaving the link to that in the description box below. So if you look closely, you will see the sewing allowance has been added to it on both sides. For both sides, we've added 1 inch sewing allowance all the way up there, and then 1/2 inch on the top for joining the down parts to the upper bodice. And then for here we have 3/4 of an inch on this side. The same thing goes for this place. You don't need a whole of 1 inch in the middle here. It's going to make it bulgy. The excess fabric is going to be bulging around. That is why we're using 3/4 of an inch instead of 1 inch. So, and then 1 inch on the other side. And then the folding allowance as well, we have 1.5 inch for the folding allowance. Now I'm leaving 1/2 inch for ease, and I'm going to be folding the 1 inch, but I'm going to be using hemming gum to fold it. So when we start sewing, of course, you will see all of this part. Alright, so let's continue. Alright guys, so we've transferred our pattern to the fabrics. So I decided that I'm going to be using an invisible zip and attaching it on the side of the dress instead of putting a zip at the back. So I tried to cut the back of the dress on fold without the zip allowance. So let me take this out and show you guys what I'm talking about. So I tried to cut it without the zip allowance. Let's just indicate where the back of this dress is positioned. So, okay, that's for that. And this is the front piece. This is the front, and this is the sleeve. Folded into 4. So the 2 pieces here complete. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and start sewing. Okay, for this upper bodice, what I'm going to do is open this place up and join it. This is how we're going to start. We're going to start by joining the shoulders first. So we're going to be joining the shoulders. After joining the shoulders, I'm going to fold in the place I'm going to be using for the front. So I'm going to be folding in the 2.5 inches. I'm going to be folding in only 2 inches. The 1/2 inch will be the overlapping of the front, one part of the front to the back, for the ease of the buttons. So when I'm done joining here, I'm going to go ahead and fold here with 1.5 inch that I left in the allowance. What I left in the allowance was 2.5 inches, but we're going to be using 1.5 inch to fold it in, and then the 1/2 inch will be the ease allowance. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and then attach the sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and do this, attach the sleeve, and then come back and show what's next to do, and try to join it together with the trouser piece. Okay, remember I had said that while cutting the upper bodies, I decided I'm going to just use an invisible zipper on the side of the dress instead of at the back. So I had to remove the zip allowance. So I had to cut the back as 1 piece instead of as 2 pieces that will have zip allowance. Okay, and this is the front. I've joined the shoulders together. And this is what we have. My table is black, so it's looking like everything is too jam-packed. Okay, then this is the back piece, and the back piece has a 1 inch allowance that was supposed to be for the zip around this area, and then 3/4 of an inch here. You can see that. Let me take out this pin. This is where the zip was supposed to stop, So we have to sew it all together since the back is no longer going to have a zip, so this back part is closed. All right. Okay, I'm just taking us through the processes we have gone so far. And then for the front piece, obviously we have already sewn the 3/4 inch for it. Now what's left to do for this down part is to hem the edges. We have to hem the bottom of the trouser. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to hem that on the machine, and then let me show you guys where we are at the okay, for the front again, for the front piece, of course. Now it's time to attach the pockets. All right, so the pockets we cut, remember we have the pocket cover and the pocket bag, and the pocket cover is supposed to be the one on top, while the pocket bag will be the one at the base. So there are 2 pieces for each, 2 pieces here, 2 pieces here, one for both. Okay, now to do that, this pocket cover, I have to place it on top of the trouser piece. I have to place it like this. Place it on the trouser piece, and we will need to cut out, and we're going to be sewing with 1/4 inch all the way. We're going to be sewing with 1/4 inch all the way. Not only are we sewing with 1/4 inch, I have to also trim out the excess, because right now this part is no longer needed. So I'm trimming it out. Okay. Do the same thing here. Do the same thing here. I'm going to pin it down all the way. Okay, 2.5 inch. We're going to pin it down all the way. And eliminate that part as well. So when we sew that part, we're going to make notches and top stitches before we can join the pocket bag. Okay, that's for the front piece for the trouser. Now the sleeve of the jumpsuit. Now it's time for this part. So now for the sleeve of the jumpsuit, I told you that the front part of the sleeve, you have to cut it in a way that it is more sloped inside than the front. Okay, and that's because we want you to be able to grab the dress and look neater at the side and not be bulging, so it won't bulge out in the front of the dress. Okay, now we have to transfer that that part we covered, or we added allowance to. We have transferred this cutting inside into this place, into the fabric. So now I'm going to have to cut it out now, which will indicate that this part is the front part of both the sleeves. So we're going to just gently remove this allowance. So this is the front part. I'm going to indicate that with chalks. Indicate it with chalks to show that this is the front. So wait, I hope I'm not marking on the front. Oh shit, I'm marking on the front of the material. I didn't mark it. Okay, because it's not too much. I can clean it up later. Alright, that's where we are at. Okay, and then I have gone ahead to hem the edges of the sleeve. And the sleeve, I told you the sleeve is going to be having an elastic. So these are the elastics for the front and for the 2 piece, and we are going to be using a loop turner to turn it. I don't know if you don't know how to use a loop turner to turn, to pass this. This is what you have to do. Pass your loop turner inside like so. Then pick it the way you can crochet, the way you do crochets. You pick it out and then close it, and then you gently pull. This is how you pass. Use your loop turner to pass it. When you get to when you get to this part, when this elastic has fully entered into the place, you pin it to hold it together, and then you pull it gently, pass it through until you get to the end, and pin again before you sew. If you don't pin it, it will crawl into the sewing, and that would it would have defeated the purpose. Okay, so here we are. So easy to do. See, I'm going to go ahead and do this other one as well. Pass your loop turner like so. Pass the loop turner and hook the elastic on it, right? And then you gently pull gently, so everything doesn't go in at the same time. Pull gently. When you get to where everything has entered, and you just hold the remaining piece with your pin, and then you gently pull to the end until everything is out, and then you pin again. This is it. So I'm going to go ahead, take it to the machine. I'm going to first of all hold down this place and take out the pins. Hold down these two places, hold them down, and then attach the sleeve to the body of the dress. You guys know how to attach sleeves to the body of the dress. Let me show you just in case. Okay, this is the front. This is the front and this is the back. And remember, I said this place is the front now, which means here is going to be going this way, front to front, and the back piece to the back piece. So first you join it together to get the middle, and then pick out the middle and place it at the center, at the joining of the shoulder, and you pin. You can go ahead and pin all round before you start sewing. So you can pin from here to the end. When you are done pinning, all the way, you take it to your machine and sew with 1/2 inch. Sew to the end, and then you are ready to even join the sides. But when you are joining the sides, you will not decide which side of the dress you will be attaching the invisible zip. Now you have to leave the allowance, the space for that invisible zip. I'm going to go ahead and couple this part together, attach the pockets to the front, and then come and show us how we can continue with the pocket bag, and then we'll move ahead from there. So basically, this whole part, the camera did not capture the explanation I was giving. Like, he didn't capture the practical I was showing you guys in this part, and for that I want to really apologize. And now I am saying that I'm going to have to redo a dress where I am attaching pockets. So I'm going to redo a trouser, and I will show a proper video on how I attach the pockets to it. So I truly apologize for this, but this is the only part that the camera did not capture properly. So you can continue watching the video and you get to the part where you are seeing everything better. So please stay tuned and subscribe to our channel so that you get notified when we upload a new video. I'll be making a new video on how to sew a trouser. I'm basically going to start from drafting again. I'm going to redraft it and do all the processes if I have to, so I can show you the part that is missing. And I'm sorry for this. I noticed this after recording, and I was doing editing. I had to notice this, and I'm so super sorry. I would have really gone over it, and the timing wasn't so okay. I'm sorry about that, guys. Now, the fabric I'm using to make this dress is a crepe fabric, and it's not so easy to handle. Like, it doesn't relax so easily. So, but for this, so now what I'm going to do, what I had to go ahead to do is top stitch it. When you open it this way, you will top stitch it. You make a stitch on the pocket cover, very close to the sewing. You can sew from the back if it helps you to direct your hands and steady it. But I usually sew from the front, or you can sew from either side. You sew very closely all the way. Sew down like so, like I did here. Sew it all the way down. Then you can now attach the pocket back. You can now attach the pocket back. When you sew it, after top stitching it, you open it up and then you attach the pocket back like so, and then sew with half of an inch or the quantity of allowance you left when you were cutting the piece. You sew all the way. You can stop here because the rest of this part will be just sewn together when you are sewing the side of the trouser, or you can continue. Okay, that's for that. So that I'm gonna have to do this one on this side. Look at it. I've joined the pocket back, and after doing that, I ironed it down. And after ironing, it didn't relax exactly the way I wanted, so I had to use hemming gum. I don't know if you guys use this. This is a hemming gum, in case you don't know what it is. So I had to cut pieces of it and put it under the seam line, like here. Place it on the fabric, on the back, just on the back of the pocket bag, and then you will iron it down. This is done after you top stitch. So this is what I did here. I did the top stitching, right? Turn it the other way around, add the pocket bag, iron it. It didn't lay flat the way I wanted, so I added this hemming gum all the way around here. And then when you iron, look at it now, it's so neat and beautiful, lying perfectly, and the hand can just go in. You can see what we achieved here. This is the point we're trying to make. It's better this way. Okay, now where we are at now, it's to attach the top of the dress. I have gone ahead to fix it up, to join them, and then they are folded in the 2 inches that's supposed to be for the buttons and the buttonhole. So I folded it. It's looking like a complete top on its own. Join the shoulders and join the sleeves. And I've also had to go ahead and hold the sides up to the part up to like 1.5 inch up, so that I can use it to attach the down part to the top. And then, but for this other side, I left more space because I'm going to be adding the invisible zip on this side of the dress. So when I join the down part, I also make sure to leave this space. I'm going to be leaving at least 10 inches or 11, so that where I put the zip, the invisible zip, it will be easy to just wear the dress. Okay, and then, so for this front part now, for us to attach the front part of this, okay, we also have to attach the back first. So this is the back piece. For us to attach it, we just take the back piece of the trouser and run a straight stitch, holding it down. Run a straight stitch all the way to have the back completed. And then for the front, for us to attach the front, this is what we're going to do. This front is more to give us the style we are looking for. Let's make this material I'm using is black, so it's making it, I don't know if you guys can see everything I'm doing clearly, because it's black and you have to work with matching threads, which is also black, so everything looks like an illusion. But trust me, if you follow the process and you listen carefully, you will understand it and you'll be able to recreate it. Okay, so now the pocket, for this front, to attach the front, you have to first close the buttonhole, the button up. You have to close it. This is how the dress is supposed to come out. Here, you have to close it first, pin it down before you attach the front piece, because the front piece will be attached as one. So you close it down, pin it, and then you start from the middle, right side to right side. Obviously, you start from the middle and you hold it down, the middle to the middle. You can repin it again. Go ahead and pin all the way to the end. This is the plan. So while you are pinning, note where your pocket is and where the pocket should relax. You hold it properly so that you use the pin to hold it down. So this is the plan. You go ahead and pin everything down and then you run a straight stitch to hold it. I'm going to do all this one and I'll come back and show us the outcome. When you pin it down and sew it, you'll be getting it in this way. So this is what you're going to be getting, like so. So there'll be an opening here, obviously, but it will be joined and closed down over here. And that is it. And then on this side of the trouser, this side of the dress, we're going to leave more opening up to this place, or come up with just here, and then open it up to like 10 inches down. That way when you put your zip here, it will be easy to wear the jumpsuit. You open here and you just slip in. Okay, that's for that. And now the next thing we're going to do is I'll go ahead and do this once and show you. But the next thing we're going to do after this joinings will be the collar. Now the collar of this dress, I've already cut it out. First of all, you have to go ahead and use your tape to measure. After joining, you will take the tape and measure round to know the quantity of fabric you need for the collar. So I'm getting 17.5 here. Okay, which means I'm going to cut out that 17.5. Now for this one, I have already cut the 2 piece I need. 2 pieces. One of them is going to be the top collar, while the other one is going to be like the bishop collar holding it down. So what you're going to do is, let's face the back. What you're going to do is, this one, you're going to hold it down like so. Now since the space for the fabric we need is 17.5 inches, so you can go ahead and cut, say 18.5 inches, so that you can sew down for the with half of an inch. Now you can fold this. If you don't know how to do a collar, let me just be showing you this one, say right about now. Okay, now to get the collar to sit properly, you're going to measure in 1 inch inside, or half of an inch, or quarter of an inch, because it depends on your measurement. But for the measurement I have here, I'm able to take out 1 inch and then half of an inch here. So I'm just going to go ahead and connect these two with my tape, with my rule, cutting it out. I'm going to cut it out. Go down with your pin so it doesn't shoot. You cut it out. Okay, so now when you open it, you have it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and take it to the machine and sew down. Sew it down here. Sew this one down, and then come back and show us how we're going to prepare the rest of the collar and how we're going to join it to the main to the trouser part. And then for this side, all you have to do is fold it in half and cut it open, because we'll be needing it to sew in this other part. Okay, so let's just go ahead and cut it. Hold it down and hold it so it doesn't shift. You need it to be a straight cut on equal sides. Yeah, this is basically it. When it comes to the sewing, it becomes easier because we're not showing the whole process of going forward and back. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do these basics ones, and then we'll come back and we'll continue from where we start. Okay, I have gone ahead to sew on the collar. I've sewn this part of the collar with half of an inch. Now I'm going to open it. You're supposed to open it and press on it and iron it down. Open it and iron it down. But because the iron is not closed, let me just show you guys what next. You have to find the middle, the midpoint, and hold it there with the pin. I said, this material is very slippery and you have to just keep pinning to hold it down, to keep it in place. If you're working with an Ankara, it will just relax, it will stay on its own. It doesn't really stress you so much. It doesn't give you so much to work for. Okay, now you take this other part, noting where the front and the back is. You will also find the middle of this one. You can mark this middle part with your chalk, fabric chalk. And then here, so I take out to the up side, right? Now take this one, look at the middle here, bring the middle part to the middle part, just join it together. And then take this one, the same thing, find the middle and place it together, and then pin. You're supposed to pin this all the way. Okay, now that I've pinned it all down, you can still do as many pins as possible just to hold it together. You're going to go ahead and take it to your machine and sew and make a straight stitch, and then come out here. When you sew it, you're going to sew it and sew up to half of an inch. Sew it and curve this edge and curve here. Let me just draw out what I'm talking about. So from here you're going to sew like so and come down here like this with half of an inch and come down. This is exactly where your seam line is supposed to go, all the way, and come down. So you're going to go ahead and sew it like so. Sew it like this, half of an inch all the way. When you are done, you will open it to get your collar, and then we'll come back and show you how we're going to attach this collar. All right, I've done this. I've run a straight stitch. But let's show us what we actually did. Okay, so while sewing from here, I folded this part in by half of an inch and then sewed all the way, go here and folded it in again about half of an inch. That way when you open it like so, let me take out the pins and show us what we're doing. So when you open it, you're supposed to trim out these excesses. Okay, so now we're opening this like this to find our collar. Now this is your collar, and we're going to have to iron it down. Iron it properly with a steam iron so that it will relax. Okay, now the reason why I made this part is that I'm going to also iron here and keep it in place like so. I'm going to go ahead and do that and show us so that we'll continue. And while ironing as well, if it fails to relax, you can also use, while ironing, if it fails to relax, like I've gone to iron it like this, right? If it fails to relax, this part you folded in, go ahead and use your hemming gun to hold it together. See, I had to use a hemming gun to keep it in place. So if you look at it now, it's now laying down flat. This is what you can do with one of the things you can do with your hemming gun. It helps. And then this place is all straight out. So what I'm going to do now with this part is you bring the top of the dress, right, where you are supposed to be putting the collar. You hold it together like so and find the middle. Find the middle point and pin. Now you take this part that you did not fold in. Take it and then you also find the middle for this one. You find the middle part and then you hold it out from right side to right side and you hold it like so. pin. Now you're going to go ahead and pin all the way. Pin it all the way to the end. You're going to go ahead and pin it all the way to the end. When you pin it to the end, like so, you will now go ahead and sew with 1/2 inch. When you are done sewing, after sewing it, let me just show you that because I'm not doing that under the camera. After sewing, you will now open it up like so. Let me hold here like this. Okay, after sewing all the way to the end, you will open it up. Then you will have something like this. Then this place will now be inside, and you will now top stitch exactly on this. You will now top stitch it to give it both a finished back and a finished front. That's the purpose of this. So I'm going to go ahead and take it to the machine and do just that. Sew it. When you are done sewing, you open it up. This will come in, the rough edges will come inside, and you close it like this, and then top stitch all the way. Let's go and do that, and then come back and show us the progress. All right, so I have gone ahead to sew it. I've sewn it, made the wrong straight stitch. Once sewing this, I want to also point out that you've already joined the sleeve, so you're going to try and the sewing allowance on the shoulder line, you are going to, the way you have faced it when you were joining the sleeve, make sure to face it like the same direction when you are joining the collar. Do it in the same place. It's a simple thing you should know, so that it doesn't have contradicting positions. It doesn't face the other way and get confused. Okay, now this is the back. This is the back. This front of that's the right side of the dress, but then this is the wrong side. Okay, now that I have sewn it, this is what I was trying to explain. You can now fold it in like so. Fold here in and just top stitch it. This is the point. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and top stitch. Spin it down to get clarity. Here, so we're going to go ahead and top stitch all the way to then when you are done top stitching, it will come out really neat both at the front and at the back. Now this is what we're trying to achieve. Let's go and do that and then join the top to the back. Okay, we've done most of the things on it. What is left now is the invisible zipper, and okay, we've joined the front piece. This is the front piece, we joined it, and this is the back, we joined it, and we've extended it to the down parts. Let me just turn it over and show us what we have now. Here it is. There it is. Shirt jumpsuit. Okay. Here the sleeves, obviously. I fixed the elastic and sleeves. These are beautifully placed pockets. Beautifully placed pockets and the down part. We're gonna have to sew everything. Now we have to just hem the bottom. Hem the bottom and put the buttons. We're going to fix the buttons. fix the buttons, and look at that. Let's look at that. It's coming out real nice. I'm going to fix the buttons, and here is the space for the zip. I'm going to be fixing an invisible zip all the way here so it can fit in. So when the person zips it down, they can unbutton here and wear the dress from the top. You know, and that's it, guys. The next time you see this dress, you'll be seeing it on the mannequin with the buttons all fixed up and the invisible zip ready to use. And this is a beauty. Now this one is the belt. This dress is going to be having a belt. What I have here is 45 inches long on fold, which is 90 by 8.5. So by the time I joined the band, by the time I join it like so, and I sew like this, we're going to be left with almost 4 inches, or 3.5 as the band width by yeah, 89 or 90 as well. So that's basically it. So we're going to just do that as well. Alright guys, we're done with the dress. So here is the buttons we use. It's called cover button. You can make them with the fabrics that is left off from the pieces of the dress you use in making it, right? Here is the pocket, and here is the side zip. Those you guys are going to use an invisible zip for the side, so that because we didn't want the zip to appear at the back, so we'll have to put it on the sides. And here's the collar, the sleeve. Okay, so let me just show us a complete view of it with the belt on it. Let's put on the belt, and then here it is, the finished jumpsuit we made from pattern drafting, cutting, sewing, and every tiny little detail. Here it is, and it's beautiful. The outcome is beautiful. So guys, if this video was of any help to you, please do not forget to like, give us a thumbs up, and share this video with your friends and help us grow, you know. And don't forget to subscribe if you have not subscribed. And if you are a returning subscriber, we're very happy to have you. Thank you so much. You guys are the reason why we keep doing this. And please, if you have any requests or any comments or any thoughts about this, please do not forget to drop them in the comment section. I'll be reading through, and I'll hear you out, and I will respond. Thank you so much for staying tuned until the end of the video. I love you. I appreciate you. Bye bye.